face and start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The goods from the woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Pat Riley.
Mrs. Goodnight, the latest pet to men's regret, sitting between two dummies and sucking on Tootsie Roll Pop.
Oh, I love it. Brand new, everybody.
Yeah.
And it's true.
I love it.
It's true today.
And joining us today, man, been too damn long.
And who is not a dummy.
Not a dummy, not at all. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for
John Ungaro.
Yes.
He returns.
Hello, everybody.
The return of Ungaro.
The last time I was here, this was in Santa Monica.
Yeah. That was 2014.
Wow.
So yeah.
Those halcyon days of 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was. But it's been this podcast has a long lifespan for podcasts because I think most of them are equivalent to Fruit Fly or something like this.
Yeah, more or less.
We're getting into raccoon status here with this one.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of people will start them and then realize it's really fucking hard.
Yeah. Even if they are those ones that they record on an iPhone that they just sit in the middle of a coffee table.
Yeah, exactly. The worst.
Those are so good.
I like the new setup. I like the new studio space.
We rent this place out sometimes for parties and things like. You squeeze a lot of people up in here.
Yeah, since this is an audio format, the listeners can't hear this, but there are 16 people currently in the room right now.
Yeah. Rivers had one in parties with the phone. Marco Rubio came, took him forever to clean the place out afterwards.
He eventually did it. That was nice of him.
Today,
Wouldn't it be funny if there was a campaign party that was a foam party?
I don't know.
Like if they bust into like the Iowa, like one of the county fairs, and they just have a foam party. So it's just people eating fried food and like soap suds.
Oh, foam. I thought you guys were saying phone, like one of those things where you all cram into
Like a party
phone.
line?
No, like where you cram into a phone booth.
Oh, like in the 50s or wherever they did that.
Yeah.
Or we
Yeah.
I'd like just a LAN party where everyone shows up and plays Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I know. Who in the Republican primaries this year would have been the best Counter-Strike player?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know.
I would say Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
I would say
Well, 'cause
Lindsey Graham. He's kind of a hawk,
Because he's the biggest loser.
but he's also a nerd.
I don't know. Actually, man, you know what? I'm going to go Cruz because I don't think he has a social life at all.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
No, that dude probably still plays like Leisure Suit Larry and stuff like that.
who
It's
doesn't?
hilarious.
Yeah, I have all of them. I have all of them in the guidebook.
Do you write all the cheat codes and the walkthroughs on Game
You have
Facts for
to.
him? Yeah.
You have to, because, if you
Pay it
start
forward
the thing
to
up,
the,
they had all the codes that were in only the instruction booklet. Remember that?
What game is this?
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, what is the objective of Leisure? I've
Getting
never heard-
laid?
Getting laid, yeah. That's essentially what the game.
Oh, was this like an adult game?
Yeah, and it has this thing at the beginning, and it's incredibly undated. So it's like all these questions to prove that you're 18, but like nobody that's over the age of 18 and under the age of like 50 now could get them right because there are a bunch of questions about like G. Gordon Liddy and stuff like that.
The questions are
What
so
system
old.
was this on?
This is a
Yeah.
computer game.
And like
Okay.
Jimmy the Greek Schneider and stuff like that.
Yeah. The question is so damn old, I can't answer half of them.
Yeah.
So that was their security?
That was their security thing. You had to put in your birthday.
You had to know something about the plumbers?
Yeah, you would have to know something about Watergate, something about like Tony Dorsett or some esoteric football player.
What?
And then, yeah.
What was was it like a porn game?
Yeah,
What was
essentially.
it?
So it was a Sierra game. It was one of those Sierra games where
Like
and-
King's Quest.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you would type in things to do, where it would be like order whiskey, and of course if you didn't type in the right
Touch the
thing,
nipple.
yeah,
Touch
and
the
there was
nipple.
like there were things like that, but it was like there was like a series of things you had to do. So it was like you had to get some Banaka, you had to like get the hammer, you had to talk to the drunk, and all that sort of thing. And the whole thing of it is that Leisure Suit Larry has to, I guess, lose his virginity or something like that.
Get laid 3 times. That was the
Yeah.
objective in the first one.
Yeah.
Wow. And
It's no Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah. It's very
now
it's,
that one I know.
It's very
It was like that kind of, but without the movie part.
Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, you had to answer questions about Whitewater.
Whitewater.
You mean like the Doobie Brothers?
There was
Pretty mama. I always hated that at the end. They all decided they're doing the "In the place don't funk it," and like, guys, y'all are changing the
Come
song.
and take me by the hand.
That's on
Honky-tonk.
Yeah, that's what
I was waiting
happened.
for Mr. Tambo and Mr. Interlocutor to come out.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the song.
I mean, it's like that's what you get when you don't have Michael McDonald leading the crew. You know? It's very aimless. You know, there isn't much direction.
If you leave Skunk Baxter to his own devices.
yeah.
After China Grove, the Doob has lost their edge.
Yeah. Did he ever make it into Congress? Because I know he ran for Congress a couple of
Was
times.
Skunk Baxter?
Skunk Baxter.
I would
know
give
the
him
dude-
credit on mustache.
The dude from Orleans was in
Yeah, he was
Congress,
yeah.
but yeah, Skunk Baxter I think I think ran a couple of times.
He's one of them closet
I call
right-wingers.
him Skunk Bastard. Yeah,
He did have a good mustache. I'll give him
yeah,
That's his garbage pail kid.
yeah. Skunk Bastard.
that. If you're old enough to remember that, folks.
Then you get to play Conker's Bad Fur Day or Leisure Suit Larry.
Well, no, you're not old enough to play Leisure Suit Larry
Yeah, I
because
guess
they
that
were
would've been-
keeping
that would have been a contemporary reference at the time.
I know it
out.
had things like who won the second Lincoln Douglas debate.
Yeah,
Do you know this game? Have you heard of Leisure Suit Larry?
I remember like reading about it in
Oh, okay.
like game magazines.
oh, I mean, it was like one of those things where it wasn't like one of the X-rated Atari games because that was like a run where they had all these like Atari games that were like these bootleg Atari games made by like other companies that were like these X-rated ones, which I don't know why they were made, you know, where it was like you played at a stag party or something like that, or people
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
People
got their
always want to
jollies.
get their rocks off in weird ways, and this is all the technology would allow back then. But the Leisure Suit Larry type stuff, though, at least had the text aspect because they were practically like text games
Yeah.
Yeah.
with pictures.
Yeah, you
So
could
it had
actually
that role-playing
yeah, you could actually
voyeuristic.
make Leisure Suit Larry on a TI-83 calculator.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in fact, it was originally a text-only game called
Really?
Soft Porn Adventure.
Did they have a dice game version of it?
No, but if you look at the cover of Soft Porn Adventure, there's a picture of Hot Tub, and that's Roberta Williams in the tub, who is the co-founder of Sierra and the woman who wrote all the King's Quest games. So she's the only programmer to be sitting in a hot tub on the cover of a game. I admire her for that one.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was that one of those like games that were mostly just like video, kind of like Plumbers Don't Wear? Is it like Plumbers Don't Wear Plaid or something?
No video, just text.
Oh,
Just text.
When they made Leisure Suit Larry, they just put graphics on it, and it was such a hit that there was a whole series after that.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
Oh, there we go.
Plumbers don't wear
I
ties.
confused it with Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. That's what I was confusing with the Steve Martin, Carl Reiner movie.
Is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties a dirty video game?
I don't. It was one of those video games where it was just. It was more or less
on
just
the
video.
3DO?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
Oh, 3DO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was only out for a minute there.
Yeah.
I remember they had a 3DO when my parents bought a gigantic CRT 35-inch television at Sound Advice in Jacksonville, Florida, and I just like because whenever my dad tries to buy anything like a television set or a computer, this is like a 5-hour journey because he has to know all the nooks and crannies and he has to like try and talk the guy down even though this is like a store, like a big box store,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, you know,
A market in Calcutta.
yeah, the souks of Marrakesh or something like that. The thing with Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, I like the thing that they try and draw you in with. So there's a lot of these like kind of Skinamax stills, but a plumber, a daddy's girl, chickens, race cars, what's this? Shower scenes, and
This has everything.
yeah,
This one says crazed yuppies.
crazed yuppies.
Rivers, as a person who designs posters, what do you think of that cover art?
Oh man, this is immaculate.
is.
Let's see. I can actually I can name every font on here. So
Yeah.
that's usually if you're an aspiring poster artist. Here's one thing: don't use fonts. People can just be like, oh, so we're looking at Times New Roman bold here,
Yeah.
Times New Roman italic, and then at the bottom we got a nice
Comic
nice little
Sans.
Comic
Comic
Sans.
Sans.
Yeah, and then some clip art that they got out of Microsoft Word.
Is this even a poster? This is the box.
This is the box.
It's the
They
box.
paid somebody to make this
Oh, yeah.
bootleg looking
That's how
thing.
that's the hook. That's what lures you in is the box art.
Maybe they
Yeah.
were going for a genuine like porno cover feel, so they went for
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, they
bootleg
put
look.
it in a 3DO box. It's 1.5 times the size of normal 3DO boxes. You know,
So it sticks out of the bag and is extra embarrassing when you go to the store.
Don't let the box art fool you. The game is also a piece of shit.
But it didn't have the race cars and check-ins and things like this. What about the crazy yuppies?
The crazed yuppies, yeah.
what is the fact that they have to like dispel the rumor that plumbers indeed wear ties?
Well, they do. They go to church and court and everything
that's
else.
true.
And that is all.
Especially if you're rolling with too many crazy yuppies, you might end up in in court.
I know I'm the son of a plumber from Austin, Texas.
Oh, it's the intro.
Here's the intro of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. You can find us on Twitter at The Goods Pod. We'll link this here so you can follow along.
Hi, my name is Jane. That's about to change.
This is nice.
You know a lot about me, maybe even more than you imagine. This whole thing's kind of like a blind date. I mean, here we are in your brand new Corvette, riding along the super
To meet sexy singles in your area
Jesus. Yeah,
for entertainment
Does look like
purposes
a
only.
dating video.
I get a Corvette in this fantasy, too.
Oh, it's just her for like the entire duration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she wanked. All right.
She wanked?
That's
Yeah.
suggestive.
Can I, too? This isn't too bad.
Oh, man. Oh, man. This is bad.
Is that supposed to be a tie?
It's supposed to be a tie, but
Oh God.
It looks like a skid mark.
I was going to say, it looks like a Paisley wiener. Wait, they just stole the Jeopardy music? You can't do
That's how they
that.
went bankrupt. Is they just stole the Jeopardy?
Alex Trebek was like, I put a gun.
Take them down.
Don't put this in my porn game. Can't have my theme song.
Can I take plumbers for $200, Alex?
What is lawsuit?
There's all sorts of trademark infringement in this game. For example, there's the X-rated version of Mountain Climber from Price is Right.
Womp, bum, ba-da.
Do they do the showcase showdown too?
Yeah.
If you do the showcase showdown naked, I don't want to say this in front of ladies, but what if you get your junk caught in that big spinning thing like that? Because that hurt a lot, and all you get out of Bob Barker would be, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Looks like you spun 69 cents.
Have you guys ever tried to get on Prices Right?
I have not.
I was supposed to go one time, but it ended up falling through. It's not hard to. It's just you get taken,
you
you
just
wait
wait
outside.
in line. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the lines for it. I've seen the sadder lines. I've seen the lines for Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, yeah.
Where you see everybody in the costumes and stuff like that, and they're just like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting
Yep.
for
the
hours.
The
Dignity melts
70s
away.
Let's Make a Deal was much sadder. Because nowadays, seriously, nowadays everybody's an attention whore. But in the 70s, it's so sad because you see these people that are so thrilled just that they're on TV for a minute.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so disappointed.
And then Monty Hall just whips out that giant wad of money.
Yeah.
And he's just like, here's $1,000 bill. And it's like, those don't exist. You know?
take what's behind the curtain. And then it's like, you got a coupon for chicken.
Yeah,
and you
I know.
can see the
You got
crestfallen
zonked.
looks.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I wanted I thought the idea of getting the goats on the zonk would be like amazing because you get a goat. I
That
wonder
would
if
be
there's
fun.
anybody that's just like, I want this goat.
I love goats.
Yeah.
I seriously, if I had me a yard and a place big enough, I would get some
Yeah,
goats.
I don't have to buy a lawnmower. I can just get this goat. You know, I don't need a trash compactor. I got this goat.
Did you try to get on Prices Right?
When I was here for college, they took us there as like an excursion. We didn't get on though. I knew
okay.
one kid that got on and he won a boat. And then I think he went on another game show and won a second boat. So
Well,
he was
Androsky
very-
was
and then
on
he
there.
drove them at each other full speed.
I was going to say, you want a fleet here.
Well, it's like Androsky was on it, Josh Androsky.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was never forgotten by anybody who's seen it.
Yeah.
That was memorable.
Yeah, because they asked him, what do you do, sir? And he goes, skateboard rabbi.
Yeah.
And he was on mushrooms at the time.
And I had to, and I've had people actually ask me if they know the guy that was on mushrooms and I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I know
Yeah.
Androsky, yeah.
Yep.
Jeff McKinnon was on it and won like a car. Like he won like
yeah.
a Kia Sophia or something like that. What is the best game on Price is Right? Before we get into the theme, everybody.
Yeah.
Since we've gone on massive diversion.
Showcase Showdown. I love that big wheel. It's still got that same ugly wheel year
Yeah.
after year after year, like a giant ugly dial.
I think we
Yeah.
need a new game show boom. I remember like in the early 2000s, there was that big game show
Oh, yeah,
boom.
because there's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And
Weakest Link.
Weakest Link.
Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, yep.
That's what led into the reality crap. I always felt.
True.
Yeah,
Because Survivor came out of that.
well,
game show
because that
craze.
game show
Yeah.
thing was also like part and parcel of like the writers' strike that they had, where they
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh, we don't need writers to do this."
I think a lot of those shows still run. They're just on in the mornings now.
Yeah. Well, they had
There's
one
game shows on constantly. They got a channel now that's got all the old ones like Match Game and
Yeah.
Press Your Luck and all that good stuff.
Someone turned to like the game show.
Yeah, they have
this classic
well,
one.
because they're all like there's tons of game shows and they're all hosted by like Steve Harvey,
Yeah.
and they have like the Match Game and it's 8 Steve Harveys.
Well,
and he still gets the winner wrong.
Yeah.
They had one at the tail end of that craze of the 2000s called Russian Roulette. Do you remember that one? Where everyone was
For the last one episode.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, everybody was standing on.
It was hosted by Christopher Walken.
They were all standing on like there were 6 little like circles everyone stood on, and if you got the question wrong, the circle would just drop out and you would just fall into
Yeah.
a pit. And that was
Fox
So this is
had
like
the
Spectre.
chair.
And for some reason, everybody that lost first was named Nick. So
Remember, Fox had the chair, and then they had like
what was the chair?
I forget what the chair was, but I remember they had other ones. It was just like we had people tell us their deepest secrets and,
Oh, was it called
and
Scientology?
reveal that we like lied to their loved ones or something.
Oh, it was Scientology the game.
Fox is like, how do we
You
turn
play
this
with these
into a
little
life?
meters.
How do we turn this into a life ruining thing?
Here's some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. By the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. By the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some.
Topic for today, we're talking about the Coen Brothers, you guys.
That's
Yes.
get really pretentious in here.
Yeah.
I picked this topic because we've talked wrestling before.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got to go
I've
the
s-
other end of the scale.
I've spoken about The Simpsons on every podcast I've ever
Yeah.
been invited
Yeah.
on.
Of course.
and I
And the
actually
thing
was
I could
hoping
talk about is Coen Brothers.
Yeah, I was hoping that you didn't pick Simpsons because I'm very Simpsons illiterate.
So I got the full filmography pulled up here. I'll start with our guest. What is your least favorite and your most favorite?
Least favorite, no question, The Lady Killers.
The Lady Killers.
It
I've
took-
never seen
Oh,
it.
It
man.
took me 3 times to try to watch it. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's and it's weird because the Coen Brothers do like all the stuff that you'll normally see in all their comedies, but it so doesn't work.
Yeah.
Who's in The Lady
The Lady
Killers?
Killers is Tom Hanks, Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans is the worst part of it. Marlon Wayans, like the whole movie, it feels like it's set in the past.
Marlon Wayans?
And Marlon Wayans is very much in the present.
Yeah.
And it doesn't match well with anything that's going on.
I think that movie, the whole movie is justified, if for no other reason than the one line that Tom Hanks where he says,
We must have waffles. We must all have waffles forthwith.
we must have waffles. We must have waffles forthwith and think. And I say that all the time when I'm going to Waffle House.
That's a good line.
Was he supposed to be the KFC guy in that movie?
Sort of, yeah. He had like the string bow tie and like a
He
weird-
looked good.
It was like he was in a complete like.
I actually kind of like Tom Hanks in that
that's,
movie.
That's the thing. Like Tom Hanks is so damn good that even when he's in shitty movies, he can rise above the movie.
Oh,
itself.
I know. He totally redeemed that thing with the Polar Express. The Santa fascism at the end was too much for me, but at least it had Tom
What was
Hanks.
the Santa fascism?
Santa comes out and leads a speech like his damn Nuremberg. And then there's elves that look like Aerosmith. And I was like, man, this is why the Puritans banned Christmas.
I didn't see that one.
This is when Robert Zemeckis spent a decade making like creepy animated
The uncanny valley. He spent a decade.
PlayStation 1 cutscene movies.
But it turns out that Tom Hanks can kind of surmount the uncanny valley. So what can the man not do?
He's such a warm, lovable man.
Yeah, but yeah, he's in that one's it's a remake of a British film, right?
Yeah.
It's an old movie.
Alec
Yeah.
Guinness movie. It's also
Baldwin.
a
Yeah, sorry.
Coen Brothers movie full of poop jokes.
That's right.
So basically, they were trying to do their own version of Scary Movie.
Like
They watched Scary Movie and were like, let's make our own version, and we'll get Marlon Wayans in it.
I mean, I don't know the ending, or not the ending, but
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alerts. The thing where everybody keeps dying is kind of funny.
that
and they keep throwing everybody off the same bridge.
It took me 3 times to watch that movie, and on the 3rd time I was able to finish it, and I actually kind of like where it just becomes full Looney Tunes
right
at the end.
where it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're basically trying to they're tunneling under they basically trick an old woman into letting them live in her house, and then they're using her basement to tunnel underneath into is it a bank or
Yeah,
a vault of
totally.
some
Oh, it's
kind?
like that movie. There was that bank job movie like that was English. Switchblade
Jason-
or something.
Was that the Jason Statham movie?
Oh.
I have no clue, but it was English and it was from like 10 years ago.
Witchblade? Is that what it was? A
Switchblade?
Witchblade?
These English guys tunneled into a place.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically the whole team that Tom Hanks is leading, the criminals, they all start dying one by one, and every time somebody dies, they go to this bridge and wait for a garbage barge to come underneath the bridge, and then they toss the guy over the bridge onto the garbage barge, and it just more and more people die, and it gets it's supposed to get funnier and funnier as it happens, but only people with like really fucked up senses of humor
Yeah.
thought it was as funny as I did.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's ever funny that fell off a bridge was the Dave Matthews Band Sewage from their bus. That's the only funny thing that's ever fallen off a bridge.
Actually, I wish the Dave Matthews Band fell off the fucking bus. Because I'd rather get hit with their sewage than get hit with those bastards.
No.
Because they are lower than sewage.
I'm from Massachusetts, and there was a dark period of time where Dave Matthews Band was like Massachusetts' band.
Yeah,
it was bad.
absolutely.
I thought that was those Egg Drop Murphys or something.
They took over after. It went Dave Matthews Band, Dropkick Murphys, and now I think it's Mumford and Sons because they got like the.
All right, I'm going to have to go back there and
terrible.
kick some ass.
Please do.
Because if y'all are listening to Mumford and Sons, man, go back to listening to the Clancy Brothers or whatever y'all used to listen to.
Last time I went home, it was like nothing but Mumford and Sons on the radio. I'm like, oh, this is the new Boston band.
Where did you? Are you from Boston?
No, I'm from Wilmington, about half hour.
Oh, that explains.
Very suburban.
Yeah, that's more suburban.
Because I always associated the Dave Matthews Band with, because I was surprised when they were so big when I went to college in the South and that people in the South loved them so much. I always thought of them in my mind as the band that their entire discography was always like the music they play during Boston Market, like commercials, like ants marching.
What you say? Do you want some macaroni?
Yeah,
What would you say?
Or like any show,
roast and gravy. What would you say?
or like any like Boston show, like Boston Legal or Boston Practice.
Come
It would
to
just
the
be
market, my friend.
It would just be like that ants marching song, like dun 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 dun.
Tonight on Boston Legal.
Yeah, she wakes up in the morning.
William
and it's
Shatner,
just like,
I think, does something.
I did it. Guilty as
Oh
charged.
man,
He could say that on Boston League.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't want to spend. Could you imagine sitting in a room with Shatner and Spader like to get?
I prefer Shatner and Nimoy.
Hey, America did it for 14
I
seasons.
know.
I prefer Shatner and Adrian Zemed.
That's funny when like a show just sneaks by. Like, did you know that like Hell on Wheels?
Oh yeah, it's
Hell
already
on Wheels
over.
was on for like 8 years. It's like what?
Yeah, it was on for like 5 seasons, and now it's done. And I was like, I feel like that just started last year.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can actually tie the Mumford and Sons things directly into one of my main criticisms of the most recent, or was it the most recent? Second to most recent Coen Brothers film.
Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, so that whole movie, I was watching it the whole time, and the soundtrack was just pissing me off, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was just like, it's just needling at me, just something about it. I don't like the music. And then at the end, it was like executive, music producer T-Bone Burnett, fucking Mumford and Sons.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I
oh,
did
that's
thought about
why.
that.
Mumford should have used birth control.
Ruin the damn movie for me. Like, the movie is great, but every time they would start playing a song, you would hear that goddamn plucky banjo shit where it's like, oh, this is like a man who doesn't know how to play the banjo.
Well, they're like English or some crap,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
English with beards who think they can play banjos, and people who've never heard a banjo think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever want a good thing to piss someone off, that's a music fan, like kind of an indie music fan. Whenever they like play Beirut or talk about the band Beirut, always be like, "Oh yeah, you mean like Mumford and Son?" Like, always get like any band that vaguely resembles like Arcade Fire. It's like, "Oh yeah, you mean like Mumford? I like Mumford and Son."
Nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah. I became aware of them because I'm a big fan of like country music and stuff like that. And everybody was just like, oh, I've got the band you need to hear. I'm like, what is that? And they would always go, Mumford and Sons. I've already heard them. They're garbage.
God.
Yeah, but no, Louis. What
So
about
Memphis, if you're listening, and your sons, fuck you, and fuck your sons too. Your only sons are Sanford and Sons. That's the only one's good. I'm gonna listen to.
Are they like? Where are they from? Actually, are they from like Wales?
They're
or?
from England.
Okay,
because they're so the main guy Mumford, and I guess they're all brother. It doesn't fucking.
They're not his sons.
No,
you lie, Mumford.
yeah.
But the Mumford, their dad is in the House of Lords, which is one of the other things that pisses me off about them. I'm like, oh, it's just like some dickhead was just like, Father, I want a Grammy.
Yeah.
Bring me a Grammy.
Yeah, let me tell you, Memphis and Sons, we threw off English privilege hundreds of years ago, and y'all get your skinny little bearded ass back in a plane. I know that you try to get a cheaper fee by pretending your brothers is your sons, so get y'all back in a plane and go play that crap somewhere else.
Like a tax break they get if they pretend that their brothers are sons.
Yeah, it's a scheme so that they can like get like health insurance for the other members of the band.
It's called the White Stripes rule. Pretend you're related.
Dave Matthews Band comes alive up in Burlington, Vermont at the sprinkling on the quad. Dave Matthews Band comes alive on a talk show in New York at a cookout on Cape Cod. They come alive, come alive.
So, what about favorite? What's your top of the list?
I have trouble picking that.
Then let me make it easier. Favorite comedy, favorite drama.
I feel like it boils down to either Big Lebowski or Fargo.
Right.
Like
that's usually how people have to cut it.
If I want to go with like a curveball, I'm actually a huge fan of Burn After Reading.
I like that one too.
I really like
that
Burn
one.
After.
Was kind of
That's a movie a lot of people hate, though. Even though I really like. I think that was because it followed No Country for Old Men,
which was the same story with the Big Lebowski at 1st. People hated that because it followed Fargo.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, I don't get this. What was the point?"
Burn After Reading is it's about 4 idiots who just crash into each other at different points in the movie, and it's all very funny. I guess this whole thing's spoilers, but then you get in the middle of the movie where Brad Pitt gets shot in the face.
Right.
It's like one of the funniest things.
Yeah. So, and then Fargo is your...
Fargo's great. Every time I watch Fargo, there's something different I find in it that's just hilarious to me. Like, this guy's trying to swindle his father-in-law out of giving him money. And for some reason, his father-in-law keeps deferring to his business partner, Stan Grossman.
Yeah.
And they keep talking about how this is what Stan Grossman says. For some reason, just like Stan Grossman's word is law.
Yeah. That movie has a real dynamic that actually exists in the real world. That's one of my favorite things ever, which is beta dad, alpha grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the funniest thing. And the way, William H. Macy. And then
William H. Macy's, that's probably the best William H. That and Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Just like this
perfect.
very sad little man. Even though in Fargo he's doing awful things, I still just feel sad for him.
Yeah, it's just pathetic.
The scene where he's just trying to trip away at the ice and it's not working, he just smashes it on his car.
Yeah, that's a TV show now, right?
Yeah,
a great one
pretty
too.
Good.
Is
Yeah.
it? How do they do it? What do they just put the movie in a shorter?
So the TV show Fargo, they've the way they've adapted it is kind of cool. Where so far they've done 2 seasons. And basically the first season only relates back to the movie with one little scene, which is in the movie, Steve Buscemi hides the money in a snowbank.
Bushy.
Like he gets out of the car, digs out a bank of snow and puts the briefcase full of the money there, then covers it back up and then puts an ice pick, a red ice pick on top so he can find it again. So the idea is he's going to go into town, trick the German guy he's with into thinking that was all the money he got, and then come back and get it himself and bail. But then, of course, he dies and goes into the wood chipper, so he never comes back for the money. But in the first season, one of the characters is
Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt's character is a grocery store owner, moves with his family to Minnesota. and finds that money in the snowbank, and that is what kind of launches his empire.
Okay.
And so, but they just show that one little scene, and that's the only thing that links it back to the original movie. And then one of the police officers in the first season, the second season is about her dad, so that links back to
So
the
it doesn't
first.
have the actors from the movie?
No.
No.
And it's
a lot of the characters are kind of like proxy characters, or some of them
Yes.
are like amalgamations of characters you'd see in like a Coen Brothers thing. And there's like a lot of references.
Yeah, it's just thematically it links up with the Coen Brothers.
But it doesn't
universe.
have like the characters with other people playing them?
Nope, it's just that one scene that links it back to the movie, but it's really well done. And then just, you know, kind of thematically it's very similar to the movie in that it's, you know, it's cold, there's a lot of blood, and then there's some like underground crime shit
I am a
happening.
big fan of the beta dad alpha granddad dynamic.
Yeah.
King of the Hill?
King of the Hill, Frasier.
Yeah.
You know,
It's always a good
like
trope.
always looking at it from Frederick's perspective, where it's just like the ultimate beta dad, alpha mom,
Yeah.
alpha dad,
Yeah.
with an alpha granddad with an alpha dog.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention, because you brought him up, and since we're talking about the Coen Brothers, how big of a badass is Steve Buscemi?
Oh,
He's like supremely awesome.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He was like in every independent film in the 90s.
I was going to say enjoyable and prolific 90s character actor with bug eyes, but I don't know if he's badass.
No, he like the guy. He was a fireman.
Yeah, he was.
He was a fireman, and he like went to Ground Zero and like pulled people out of the rubble and stuff like that.
Is that
And
true?
Yeah, he was a fireman. He was on. I forget what ladder it was, but like one of the ladder that he was a member of, like had heavy losses during 9/11.
Oh, wow.
So he like put his stuff back on and went there.
Oh my God.
So like and
what a
didn't
badass.
tell anybody. This was something that like just kind of came out later on. But it's just like he was
It
like,
came out here, actually.
and he was like friends with Joe Strummer and every like cool person and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They all want to have Bushi around. He's like, he's awesome.
Well, they
and
like his bug eyes.
yeah, and nobody can pull off one of those leather blazer style bookie jackets better than him. He's amazing.
I like his look in Fargo. He's got the great, like, shitty mustache.
Yeah, yeah.
And the brown leather jacket.
What year did that movie come out?
Is that 94?
94, I think.
I think Steve Buscemi was probably in like 27 movies that year.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like it's like him and Samuel L. Jackson. Like if Bushi is able to cross over into action movies and stuff like that, like big budget action movies, he will be the guy that's
Yeah,
like the new.
Well, wasn't he already in that Con Air, one of those?
Yeah, he
Oh yeah, he
Yeah, he's
was,
the
but
cannibal
that
in
doesn't
Con
count.
Air.
That doesn't count. No, Con Air's.
But in the 90s, he
counts
did
to
all
this
that
guy.
stuff.
Counts to me.
He did every damn genre in the 90s. He does kid stuff. That Monsters Inc., they hardly even had to change him into that silverfish thing or whatever the hell he was.
They just need to have like the. They should have a version of the Expendables, but call it the Regulars,
Yeah.
with Samuel L. Jackson, Steve Buscemi, Danny Trejo.
Gotta throw Macy in there.
Got to throw William Macy in.
He could be the general or something that gives them their orders.
Yeah.
But there's like an alpha general above him.
Yeah, that's. I think that's like William Hurt.
Or Liam Neeson.
Eugene Levy.
Tony Shalhoub. Michael Lerner's in
Oh
it.
God.
Parker Posey.
Do we have artists out there? Please someone make that.
The
Tweet it at us.
Regulars.
I want to see Eugene Levy give the briefing. Okay, A, we've got B, we've got to take out the installation.
Yeah. Or he could be that inspirational mystic character like Mickey Rourke was.
Rourke was in some good shit.
I know.
You know-
Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man, one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah. You know who's really easing into that kind of character role like that very nicely? Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, yeah. He's been popping
Is
not
that
a
the
big-
guy that owns the WWE?
He I saw. Has anybody seen the new?
Fired.
Has anyone seen the new Magnificent Seven?
No,
yet?
I didn't see
I went and saw it.
Was it
and-
magnificent?
Yeah, it was literally 2.5 hours of just people shooting each other. So if you're just into really mindless entertainment, which I am, like I saw Jack Reacher already. Like, you know what
Nice.
I mean? If Tom Cruise is punching, sign me up. Like,
Is it good stoned?
I'm
I've been-
sure it would be. Yeah, I don't smoke, but if I did, I'm sure
The
because it's
original-
just literally all gun. It's gunplay and one-liners.
Well, yeah, but the original is like
It's
a cinematic
sacrosanct.
classic.
I think it's sacrosanct. Like like of those like kind of collection of near-duel type movies. It's like you don't touch Magnificent Seven, even though Magnificent Seven was a remake of Seven Samurai. You don't touch that, and you don't touch Dirty Dozen. If they remake Dirty Dozen, I'm going to be so mad.
They had sequels. You remember the made-for-TV sequels?
But that's different.
And it did have Lee Marvin.
It does have Lee Marvin in it. It's like anything without Lee Marvin. Just like,
anything with Lee Marvin.
You can't not have, Lee Marvin in those movies. It's like there's no equal.
But
he would be great in Coen Brother movies. Like if he lived, if he didn't like smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day, he would be like the guy.
You know how many great actors and character actors there were from the past that could be in such good stuff like this today?
Oh yeah.
But I was going to D'Onofrio plays a big fat fur trapper, and it's like the greatest thing ever. He's got his huge beard, and he's wearing like a beaver hat, and he's just drunk all the time. It's fantastic.
Which movie is this?
This is the new Magnificent Seven, and Denzel is like the hero with the white hat now. Like if they want to remake every Western with Denzel as Gary Cooper, I'm fucking on board.
Okay, but it's not like a cartoon though. This movie is it? Because the movie, a
little bit,
it looked like a video game to me in the trailer.
It's pretty damn cartoony.
Does it do that thing where they have like current music in it?
No,
they're just about to.
No.
Yeah, they're about to just like rush onto the bandits, and you just hear click, click, boom.
If it were 2003, that song would be in the trailer.
Shit, they still use that one. Man.
I don't like worldly music in my movie.
The thing I don't like about Vincent D'Onofrio is just the vocal affect, like the way he delivers lines.
Sugar.
And I also don't like the Vincent D'Onofrio resting face, which is the same as like the Muppet resting face, where their mouths are like slightly crooked open, and they're just like, where it's just like their mouths are a little bit like. They're not closed, but it's just like a little bit open.
I do that when I'm trying to pretend I'm not yawning. When you got to yawn and you just
can't nobody tell when I'm doing it because all they can see is a mustache.
And like Vincent D'Onofrio had like I think he had like a cleft palate when he was born or something. So he's got a little bit of that little crook up, or he has like the Elvis Presley sort of thing. So the Muppet face with the little Elvis Presley like lip up thing is just. Oh, I just look at it.
Thank you very much. That's all I'm going to see now.
There may be mermaids under the water. There may even be a man in the pool. Oh, but Vincent, time is running out. You better get yourself together soon.
My favorites are Big Lebowski, because it's just one of those movies that doesn't get old. It's one of those movies that's just completely, eminently rewatchable. It's a fantastic comedy. It's so funny.
It has the man in me.
Yeah,
it's so quirky.
It rewards multiple viewings. Too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just one of those things where I can totally understand why there are Lebowski fests. Like, I can totally understand why people deify this movie. It's so good. And it's one of those movies that you can watch. It's just that perfect. It hits that perfect point where you can watch it with dad, or you can watch it with your wife, or you can watch it with your mom, or whatever one where it's like you can watch it with anybody, and there isn't like any sort of thing that anybody would see as being this is really. They could see it as dumb, but there's things that are redeeming about it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like. If anybody doesn't like The Big Lebowski, they're probably like dead inside.
Yeah.
If you have any ounce of like soul, you would like that movie. I really love Barton.
Maybe they're nihilist.
Yeah, the nihilists. Yeah, but there's stuff for them too. There's stuff for the nihilists as well. But my favorite, and I just watched this. Finished watching it a few days ago because. My wife put it on. She was just like, I really want to watch it. It's in my queue, and I haven't watched this in years. Was Barton Fink.
Yeah.
Barton Fink is fantastic.
John Goodman, man.
John Goodman, Charlie, Carl Killermunt, just like it's so fantastic.
I could tell
the ending of it. The ending of it.
Spoiler alert.
No, I'm not. But the ending of it falls a bit flat for me. Like the last scene,
the fire and everything.
Well, no, not even the fire, but like the beach.
Oh yeah.
That was just going for something that they probably saw when they were taking one of their upper division philosophy classes at Princeton, like some statement about something that came out of like Kierkegaard or whatever. But like just from the beginning to that point, is just fantastic. It's such a good movie. There's so many things about it that are, and it's in how historically like attached to it, like Barton Fink being Clifford Odets, Bill being William Faulkner.
Yeah.
Just like everybody in there is rooted in a real person, and they have all the people that are the Coen Brother All-Stars in there. You know, you have and all the character actor ones that are really good. Shalhoub, Buscemi, Michael Lerner, like everybody. Michael Lerner is like the king in that movie. He is so good, where he plays like Lipnick, like just like he's so out of control. He is so, and it wasn't like they were going off of like, you know, oh, we have to do a Pitch Perfect like Louis Mayer or something like that. It's like he's just at it, like where he's just like, I got the uniform, they got it from costume, but they'll give me a real one, you know. And it's just like it's so good, it's so fantastic. And John Goodman is just hell's bells. He's so fantastic in that movie.
Like, I think his performances in just the Coen Brothers movies alone are enough to put him up there as like one of the greatest actors.
And when he was in Barton Fink, it was like he was still on Roseanne. He was still John Connor on John whatever his name was.
He's been in he's done Barton Fink. He's done Monsters Inc. He's done a lot of these. Some of them even rhyme.
Yeah, and he's that movie is really, really good, and it's like a very good
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, Monsters Inc. especially. But,
I thought it was
yeah, it's a great Coen Brothers movie. But I think that if their treatments of old Hollywood, either if it's like part of the theme or if it is like kind of a back piece to, you know, not like Hail Caesar or Barton Fink, where like the big character place is, you know, studio system Hollywood, but even like they make allusions to it in their other movies that are really spot on. I mean, those two movies are just like outstanding. They're so good.
Yeah.
My favorite tiny joke in Barton Fink is when you first see Barton, they're showing his play in New York.
Yeah.
And you hear dialogue from the play, and through this whole movie, he's like struggling with this script. Then all of a sudden, he's in love with his script. He thinks it's the most brilliant thing he's ever written. And then the two detectives show up, and they're reading his script that he's written, this wrestling script, and it's the same dialogue from his play in New York. So all he really did was just rewrite his play, and he thought it was brilliant. I think that's a great joke.
I want a wrestling movie.
Wallace Beery wrestling pitches.
Yeah. Big men in tights.
You know the routine.
Do you have a favorite, Mr. Goodnight?
Did they do Boogie Nights?
That's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay, well, Big Lebowski, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know like what like some of these movies I've seen some of.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some of Fargo. I've caught pieces of a lot of movies. But I don't know like everything that they've done that I could even tell you least favorite or if I've seen any others for sure.
You seen No Country for Old Men?
No, I'll tell you what I wanted to see was that and the True Grit remake, but I just hadn't seen
those
them.
I'll watch those anytime. They're both great. My personal favorite is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh yeah,
which is
that was the first one I ever saw. That's a great one.
I think that might have been the first one I saw too. Actually, yeah, it came out in 2000.
I think that movie is the same thing that we were talking about with Lebowski's. It's like I think you could watch that movie with anybody. and anybody will love it.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou does have the most pretentious writing credits of all time. Ethan Coen, Joel Coen, Homer.
Which is hilarious because it barely follows the
it barely follows the. I mean, like there's the sirens. And stuff
What
like
I want to know is,
that,
did Homer get any money for this?
Yeah, I know.
Because you don't want to rip off a handicap guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it did maybe get him Taft-Hartley or something.
They had to pay Homer in ones.
Yeah,
they had to pay him an amphoras of olive oil.
Yeah. Homer was able to get that guild insurance, and maybe he could get his vision dealt with.
His mint came in.
But that one is, I think that must have been the first one that I saw too, just because I think I was 12 or 13 when that came out, and all the other ones I assume I would have been too young to have seen. I guess in the coming years, kind of filled in the back catalog and saw everything. But yeah, the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think most people's mothers bought the soundtrack. I think that was the thing that happened.
Did that win like best soundtrack?
Oh yeah, it won pretty much every. They gave every award they could to that soundtrack. Pretty much.
Was that the bluegrass stuff?
Yeah, it had.
I'm a man
of constant
sorrow. That video was on country music television
Over and over.
at least twice an hour.
Yeah.
It was not just heavy row; it was massive row.
It was huge.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I still love comes from hearing that the first time, like Ralph Stanley and the Stanley Brothers, and then they have songs there by Skip James. Like there's all this great like blues and bluegrass like roots music on that soundtrack, and it still holds up if you listen to it.
Yeah, because it was
beautiful.
like 2000 was the year, or 2001 was like the year of like the ubiquitous soundtrack, where it was either the "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" soundtrack or the "I Am Sam" soundtrack.
Yeah, that's
and those
right.
two, quality wise, couldn't be any further apart. Like,
Was that a Dr. Seuss movie?
no, it was the most pretentious soundtrack ever. It was all your. I went to college in the 1980s favorites performing the Beatles. I'll preface this by saying the Replacements are my favorite band of all time because I am a 45-year-old that went to Skidmore. But the thing was, by the way, did you know that Tim Kane's favorite album is "Let It Be" by the Replacements?
Why wouldn't it be
Who's
Tim?
Kane?
Like and it's perfect. Like that's
at the skate shop.
The Replacements.
Well, who cares what he thinks?
Yeah. But
You would think it would be Tim.
yeah, you think it would be. I guess he wasn't a big fan of like "Kiss Me on the Bus" or something.
Oh, I love that song.
But I love the Replacements. Paul Westerberg singing "Nowhere Man" is absolutely hideous. It is bad.
All right. Oh boy.
Because he has the
It
nasal.
sounds like Junior's going to sing a song for us.
Because he has the nasally voice, so they're like, "Oh, we can hit that one," but
Next up at the St. Mary's Catholic Church talent show,
Polly Westerberg.
yeah, here's little Polly Westerberg here to sing a song. Take it away, Polly.
I think this is a very apropos analogy, given where most of the copies of the "I Am Sam" soundtrack were sold.
Was I Am Sam the movie about the son of Sam that Spike Lee did? I'm serious.
That's Summer of Sam.
Okay.
I Am Sam is the one where Sean Penn is playing a mentally challenged person.
That's not
that
milk,
works at
right?
that
Not
works
milk.
at Starbucks.
Still works at Starbucks.
But he still manages to have the same "I'm constipated" face. But the thing, I Am Sam is to the Beatles is what Starbucks is to coffee. It's lower quality. People overrate it, and it makes you want to take a dump really bad after you've consumed it.
there's also Granddaddy, one of my favorite bands.
That was really bad, that Paul West.
Granddaddy's kind of the shit, though. I just know this song.
Oh God.
Oh man.
What was this movie about?
So
Why come they have the Beatles in it?
Yeah, like who gave Stephen Malkmus a Casio keyboard?
Oh God.
Wow. Maybe Paul Westerberg wasn't so bad.
At least they did something different with it, you know?
Yeah.
It sounds
What
like it's on a
else is-
Target commercial.
Yeah, what else is it? Yeah.
It does. You're
Come
right.
to Target.
Yeah, come to Target. Get 20% off this weekend. Only at Target.
Yeah,
it's,
Present off the I Am
Money?
Sam soundtrack.
Yeah.
it's the Labor Day white sale.
Get culottes. I don't know what culottes are.
These French
They're always on sale.
This album is the album for people that base their entire personality around NPR culture shows. Like, the dinner party podcast. Dinner party hour.
The Splendid Table.
Oh, yeah,
Is that a dirty thing like the rusty trumpet and stuff?
Splendid table.
Yeah. Plumbers Without Ties. The Splendid Table.
The Splendid Table is a line from one of the Hardy Brothers.
Is Jimmy Valiant in that one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah.
exquisite xylophone.
Splendid table.
Presented by Public Radio International.
I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
Did you understand? Did you watch A Serious Man?
Yes.
All right. So with that movie, I finished watching it, and afterwards I was like, I'm too stupid to like this movie as much as I do. I think I really enjoyed it, but I ended up having to go back and do research about like quantum physics and Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and the Schrodinger cat and the Book of Job and like all this shit that I didn't understand.
That research Job Rivers, shame on you.
That movie is on the list of Coen Brothers movies. The first time I saw it, I didn't care for it, but then the second time I watched, I'm like, I love this movie.
Yeah. That one was.
It was a good, that one and what was that one with Tim Robbins?
Oh, the Hudsucker Proxy.
Hudsucker Proxy. That was the first.
That's the hula hoop one, right?
Yeah, for the kid. The first time I saw the movie, I didn't care for it, and then I watched it again. I'm like, I think this might be the fastest moving comedy. I thought Mel Brooks was like the fastest, but this is like joke.
Yeah, that one. So I didn't know what I was watching. I came in. I think I was a sophomore in college, and I came home to my apartment, and my friend Matt was watching it, and it just started. Like I had just missed the opening credits, and so I had missed the part where it said directed by Joel and Ethan Coen.
Yeah.
So I just sat down. And I was like, what is this movie? He's like, oh, it's called The Hudsucker Proxy. I don't know. I've just heard it's very good. I had no idea it was the Coen Brothers. Watched the whole movie, and I was like, fuck, that was really great. Why haven't I ever heard of this movie? And then it came up. I was like, oh, it's the Coen Brothers. That's why it's great.
You know, who's in that movie is Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith and Jennifer Jason Leigh, who
you had to have 3 names to be in the movie.
Yeah. Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
If you was one of the girls, I mean.
Yeah. Jennifer Jason Leigh, who I don't know if I saw in anything again until
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, or as I call it, A Night on Exposition Mountain.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
She was in that.
She's the girl who keeps getting punched in the face by Kurt Russell.
Nope, spoiler alert. I haven't seen. Now Kurt Russell's going to punch her in the face, and I'm already going to know.
Well, he does it over and over the whole movie.
So Kurt Russell's punched her in the face, and he kicked Elvis in the shins. That is a career.
That's right. Yeah, she was great. She was great in both of those movies. But yeah, that movie was just like, here's my impression of Hateful Eight. Let me tell you a really long, boring story about my life.
Is that Tarantino?
It is. Yeah.
God, he is like.
Hey, I like him. If you're listening, Quentin.
Oh, see, I think he's fantastic, but I just happen to think that's the worst of his movies.
I
haven't seen it. I
don't really like Death Proof that much.
Oh, I
never went back.
See, I'm a big Kurt Russell mark, so I did love Death Proof a lot, actually.
The Last Chase is awesome, but everything before that was too drawn out.
Yeah,
for me.
What's your favorite Coen Brothers movie?
Like I said,
I
mean, I'll do have to like break it down between comedies and dramas, but my favorite is, like I said, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Least favorite, by far, because of the Mumford inclusion, is Inside Llewyn Davis. Although I have never actually seen Intolerable Cruelty. That's apparently their worst.
I actually like Intolerable Cruelty.
Do you? Okay.
I don't. I'm in the minority on it.
See, I've never seen it just because everybody was like, it's shit.
I haven't watched it in a bit, but I actually like kind of dig that one.
Okay, well maybe I'll watch it then.
What happens in it?
What's worse, Intolerable Cruelty or Intolerance, the D.W. Griffith movie?
Well, that's got Jesus in it and the Massacre of the Huguenots and everything.
Yeah, and the city of Babylon. That's the largest film set ever created for the silent film era.
Oh, wow.
It's that movie was such like him just like pleasuring himself.
That movie was really bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
Are we're still talking about Intolerance? It bankrupted his studio.
Yeah, it did. It did.
So
well, that's Griffith for you.
Yep.
Yeah, the two that everyone regards the worst are Intolerable Cruelty and Lady Killers.
Yeah,
those used to be the general one. For some reason, I just happen to like Intolerable Cruelty. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll go back and watch it.
And Blood Simple's good.
Blood Simple's awesome.
Yeah.
E. Emmett Walsh is great in that movie. He's fucking creepy.
Oh, Emmett Walsh. He was awesome. And what was it? Roger Ebert, I think, used to have a rule saying that anything with Emmett Walsh is automatically watchable just because he's in it. but he took it back after Wild Wild West.
That's right. He's in Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to mention
Well, that's
like
not his fault.
the one that put him on the map. That's the shit is Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
I didn't know that was him.
That's the Coen Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's a great movie.
I just looked at the list. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Raising Arizona is like one of the best movies.
I remember
ever made.
that when they used to run that all the time on cable on like IFC or one of them things like that.
Yeah, man.
They said that they based Nicolas Cage's character off of Wile E. Coyote. And
Yeah.
like, that's all I can see now is he does look like Wile E. Coyote in that movie.
I have a buddy, shout out to my friend Jingles over there in Barcelona, who looks exactly like Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Like,
I wonder if they have any uncredited movies. There has to be an uncredited, right, that they did.
They did one with Sam Raimi. They teamed up with Sam Raimi for a movie that nobody likes to talk about.
Yeah.
I forget what it's. I think it's called Crime Wave.
oh yeah, that's their second movie because they're their second thing that they wrote.
I went to a screening of Evil Dead 1 and 2, and in between they had a panel with Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, and Edgar Wright moderating. And Edgar Wright twice brought up Crime Wave, and Sam Raimi twice shot it the fuck down. He's like, nope, I'm not talking about that one.
I imagine that there's some uncredited script that they wrote for like a rewrite or something for a movie that is just absolutely terrible.
Oh, that one called Gambit that's supposed to be bad.
That wasn't an X-Men movie?
They just wrote it. No, not the card playing Cajun. They have that. They had a couple ones where they just have writing credits on. Like they had one for Unbroken that Angelina Jolie did, and they wrote for Bridges Spies.
Bridges Spies, which I heard was great and I didn't see.
I didn't see it.
But
I
like
think it's good.
just like some dumb screwball comedy. Like I imagine.
I think it's Gambit.
Like if they were the secret writers of like She's All That
That'd
or
be
something
funny.
like that. Like She's All That was written by somebody that like is like a well-known person, I think. Like was that M. Night Shyamalan or something like that?
Oh yeah.
It's
that movie?
yeah.
Who was that?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh,
I was
wow.
right.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Oh, the girl in that movie was real good looking.
Rachel Lee Cook continuing
Yeah.
the three named actors.
Didn't they look alike too? Didn't her, Mandy Moore, and Jamie, whoever it was, gets hit in the face all the time, look alike too?
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
thought you meant Jamie King from
yeah,
Joe
Jamie
Dirt. Like maybe the Coen Brothers actually did secretly write like Joe Dirt.
Oh well, Joe Dirt's fantastic.
Joe Dierte.
Joe Dierte.
Yeah.
So if you were going to tell somebody who'd never seen a Coen Brothers movie, what are like the top three to watch to get into it?
Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Fargo.
Yeah,
I'd go for those.
Those are the three. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Barton Fink,
Barton Fink's great.
Lebowski, and I would say No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
because
great
it
one.
hits every one of those like sort of things that they do, where they can
Yeah.
go dark, they can go, they can go comedy, and they can go, very sort of erudite and intellectual.
I'd go with John because I was familiar with all three of those.
Same way. Yeah. Yeah. I would. I think I'd go. Yeah. Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Maybe Raising Arizona.
Yeah. And then maybe go No Country.
Can we get a song from the I Am Sam soundtrack to play us off?
Oh God.
No, please don't. Please don't.
I believe
Favorite M. Night Shyamalan movies, She's All That,
She's All That, number one.
Signs 2, and
Great
The Last
Awakenings.
Airbender
I
3.
think that was another one he did.
There's the new one coming
Is
out.
it called Great Awakening? The one he did with Rosie O'Donnell.
So that wasn't
I don't think-
that wasn't a
Wait,
Charles Dickens.
are you saying that he wrote East of Eden?
He wrote like his very first movie.
Exit Eden.
Whatever.
Steinbeck
I
wrote
de-
East of Eden. My
I definitely have the title wrong. Great Awakening sounds like a softcore porn.
friend. Yeah, I think it's just called Awakeners or something.
That's not the movie where like everybody has a MS or something like that.
No, that's Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
What is that movie? De Niro's in it, and he uses a Ouija board to talk.
I don't know that one.
It's called Awakenings or something.
okay.
Like that.
That is Awakenings.
You just made that up.
No,
I think that's right.
Wow.
Why would I make that up?
Robin Williams.
I would have made up a movie with Mandy
See, if you were
Moore in a tub of popcorn butter or something like that.
Or if you want to make up a De Niro movie, just make up like, De Niro plays fearless leader in Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And he did too. And he went to the Oscars or something like that with his little haircut as fearless leader. Holy cow, I remember that movie. What's her name? Well, she didn't have any dignity, but otherwise I would have said that Whoopi Goldberg gave her dignity to that movie too.
John, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
It's hard. I got rid of my Twitter.
Ooh.
I don't like Twitter anymore.
Well, don't get rid of your Twitter because it's hard. You might have problems later in life.
Wide Awake. That was the M. Night Shyamalan Rosie O'Donnell movie. Anyway, sorry. I had to solve that one.
We have closure.
I don't know. I probably have some stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
Just type my name into
Go
YouTube.
to Stonecutters, everybody.
Oh, yeah,
in LA.
Stonecutters.
Yeah.
We got that every first Saturday of the month. Except for November, but we're back in December.
Tell them what Stonecutters is.
Although in San Diego, we're starting Stonecutters San Diego. I have very little to do with it, but somebody else wanted to open their own show. So I believe that's on November 12th. And it's a Simpsons trivia show, bar style, where we do a round of questions. We play an episode, then we do another round of questions. At the LA show, sometimes we have guests of people who've worked on the show.
Matt Groening's come by, I know.
He's popped by every now and then. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're not in the LA area and you're planning to come to LA and you're a Simpsons person, definitely swing by because it is definitely something that would be an event that you would like.
If that
It's a lot of
describes
fun.
you, that's the most fun you can have in that situation.
You'll have some fun Garo, and you might see Matt Groening too.
Yeah.
Yep. Every first Saturday of the month at Meltdown Comics.
On Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Strip.
Yep.
Yeah.
77 Sunset Strip, though you will not necessarily see Ephraim Zimbalist there, Junior.
You can find us. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/thegoodspod. We're on Twitter @thegoodspod. Pat, what do they do when they get to
They
iTunes?
should rate, review, subscribe, comment, and do that because it shows the attitude of gratitude.
And if y'all don't have the attitude of gratitude, just fuck you, man.
All right, song of the week this week. This is the Futurebirds, and the song is "There Is No Place for This to Go."
That's a hell of a name.
Great band. The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.